Day one of Chicago Bulls training camp is in the books. We are moving on to day two. And DeMar DeRozan issues a challenge to Patrick Williams. Y'all know we're going to talk about it, plus a little bit more. But you know you got to hit the music first.
Cognac. Gang.
Shy Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's episode for me and my co-host C-Dub as he handles some business. If you like what you're listening to today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so every time we drop, you'll be one of the first ones to know. Now, entering day two, I want to go ahead and recap day one of training camp for the Chicago Bulls. Some of the key takeaways thus far. Per KC Johnson, the Chicago Bulls had everyone at practice. Whoop-de-doo. Everybody already know Lonzo Ball is currently away from the team, but they're on out. Everybody else was at training camp. That's all the NBA guys and our two-way guys in Orlop Bentham, Amada Sanogo, etc., etc. They was all there present and doing their thing. We're trying to get this thing on track so we can go into the regular season and have hopefully have a solid start to the 2023-2024 campaign for your Chicago Bulls. My guy, KC Johnson reported that the Bulls focus plenty on a defensive end, and the reason is because Billy Donovan said we can't take that for granted, especially because they had a top 5 defense. I find that very important for the Chicago Bulls. I believe their identity should be defensive focus, at least just for the start of it. We definitely want to go ahead and have a defensive mindset going into this season, but you definitely still want to see things played out on the offensive end. But as far as defense, you definitely want to maintain that defensive presence and build upon that. Or in this, standpoint, you want to maintain that defensive presence when going into any basketball game. These guys were top 5. There was a few things, that kind of went in the Bulls' favors defensively, getting steals to create offense. You want to see different things like that from your team so they can get easy baskets, hopefully with the expectation of playing a little bit faster. Now you see a top 5 defense, hopefully, or at least a top 10 defense, hopefully, be able to get a lot more easy buckets in transition to make the game a lot easier for your Chicago Bulls. You would definitely love to see some of those steals turn into some transition threes. You definitely want to see sometimes these guys go ahead and attack the basket. Let's run the fast break the correct way. Let's make sure that we are getting the best opportunities that we can of defensive turnovers from the Chicago Bulls to make life easier for everyone that's around there, because we already know if you can hang your hat on the defensive end, when things get tough, when the offense not going, you will put yourself in better position to win ball games if you can lean on that defense a little bit more. But you have to include the offensive edge with that defense. So I'm happy that they focus on that. So let's continue on and go talk about what KC Johnson reported from training camp. He said that offensively, the Bulls focus on attacking the paint. No word of hearing from the three-point shot, but I want to go ahead and talk about them focusing on attacking the paint. Now, we know that these guys were pretty good, with attacking the paint. I will say in season 1 of the Big Three. In year 2, they still had some success attacking the basket, but I believe they kind of got away from it. And I believe some contributors to that was the slowing down of the pace. You know what I'm saying? Once you get those turnovers, guys not running, guys not forcing the issue and getting other opposing teams on their heels and things like that. So attacking the basket, I think it's something you want to continue to build on. Honestly, I would have liked to see how they are improving their shooting profile like they talked about on media day. I want to hear about that. I want to see who's in charge. I want to see reports of who is running the show, who has been placed as a starting point guard. What are the matchups looking like? What combinations are you putting out there so these guys can go ahead and prove, and you can properly gauge who needs to start for the betterment of the team. So I want to hear a little bit more about that. I have not seen that thus far. If y'all have seen that or heard that, go ahead and comment that below. Let me know what has been said, and then we can go ahead and continue to chop it up about it. And then lastly, he said that everybody is raving about Nashville. Hey, I ain't mad at it. Me personally, I've never been to Nashville. I hear it's a beautiful town. I hear it's a lot of things to do. I heard it's a lot of fun. And hopefully these guys are able to have a lot of fun, acknowledge the beautifulness, but stick to the reason why they went to Nashville in the first place, to get away from the big city of Chicago, to be down in one central location, to make things happen and to see where can we continue to build this camaraderie. How can we really be about continuity? Can we become a cohesive unit down here in Nashville? I'm really anxious to see how this whole experience transpire into whatever is going to transpire into. It can definitely transpire into something that's good, and it can definitely be the opposite. It can definitely transpire into something bad. It's too early to see what it will transpire into, but as of right now, I believe and I'm hoping that we see something special transpire out of this. And I already know, I already came to the forefront and said that, hey, I'm not predicting the Chicago Bulls to win the championship. It's simple. My expectations are going to line up with what the front office has set. Let's be a playoff team. Let's win a playoff series, and then we'll go from there. But you definitely want to see the young guys become solid contributors to that. You definitely want to see the big three having fun, because we know what they're going to do every single night. You want to see these guys having fun. I honestly want to see the big three develop into something. And it doesn't have to always come down to DeMar DeRozan. You be the man every single night. I would love for the big three to establish, hey, if this is your night, we gonna feed you. We are gonna feed you. I believe that comes out with, with some understanding of the game, and then having some self-awareness to say, hey, Zach LaVine, I don't have the game going tonight. Nikola Vucevic has it going. Let's feed the big man. Same thing for DeMar DeRozan. Hey, I don't have it going tonight, but Vooch and Zach does. Let me see how I can contribute in other ways so we can make it happen. Me personally, I'm looking at it like this. Every game should be a little bit different on how the Bulls operate, simply because you don't want to get locked in so much to where saying, hey, he's the number one, he's the number two, he's the number three, and that's the de facto way that you're going to play. Because sometimes Zach LaVine is going to have a bad night, DeMar DeRozan is going to have a bad night, and Nikola Vucevic is going to have a bad night. So I believe it's going to have to take some veteran presence and some leadership to say, hey, Patrick Williams got it going tonight. Let's let the young fella eat. Kobe White has it going tonight. Let's let the young fella eat. Javon Carter is killing from the 3-point line. He's 3 for 3 right now. Let's see if he can go 5 for 5 tonight. So that's something I want to see. So we're going to move on along. Let me know how y'all feeling about all that down below, and we're going to continue to talk about it today. Now, the last part is that DeMar DeRozan pretty much challenged Patrick Williams to get a technical foul this season. He said, just get one. Break out of your shell, pretty much. Per Casey Johnson, DeMar DeRozan was talking in the context of Patrick Williams attending camp. DeMar, for the second straight summer and starting to find his voice, said he wants PWill to get his first technical foul this season, and then he'll fully be out of his shell. Hey, I'm all for it, DeMar DeRozan. I believe y'all have to push this guy to eclipsing his potential. We don't know what he could be. We've seen glimpses of what he could be, but now I believe it's time to come into his own. Time to man up per se. He's already a grown man, but come into his own and a man on the basketball court. You want to see what Patrick Williams can eventually be. Right now in a Bulls uniform, he is the future. 22 years old, selected by the front office as their number one pick in that year when they drafted him. You got to eventually get something more out of him to see if he can be something. Like we seen it, him running pro-ams in Charlotte. We seen him running pro-ams with DeMar DeRozan the previous offseason. We seen him, honestly, look a lot slimmer going into this training camp, and he even pulled out the headband. Is headband PWill a real thing? That's to be determined. But I love that DeMar DeRozan is pushing Patrick Williams, and I hope that other guys on the team that are veterans, and hell, even some of the young guys with him. You look at this guy with all the measurables, all the intangibles, and what he was able to do last year. You want to push this guy so he can go ahead and do a little bit more, or even more than that, to see what this guy can be. Will he be a 3-and-D guy? Will he be just a spot-up shooter? Will he just be a defender? What will he be? Will he be the most improved player? Be in the talks of most improved player? Will he eventually, or will he show that he can probably be an all-star? We don't know yet. Will he have an offensive explosion this year? We don't know yet. Will the guy come out and have a coming out party and be looking at the chicks in the crowd like a Jordan Poole? We don't know yet. But it will be great to find out. It will be great to find out. So I love that DeMar DeRozan, at least right now, that's being reported, he's at the forefront of telling Patrick Williams, come out of your shell, get teed up. You know what I'm saying? We ain't saying go crazy on like a Draymond level, but speak up, speak out, break out of your shell. Let your talent flow. Just let it go. For all my people with kids, and y'all know what Elsa said, let it go. So let it go, PWill. Let it go. But that is it for me today, man. That is it for me today. Let me know how y'all feeling about all the things that we talked about today. The key takeaways from day one of training camp, and DeMar DeRozan issuing a challenge to Patrick Williams about receiving his first tech or just one technical foul this season to break out of his shell. We're going to be chopping it up all day, so make sure you leave your thoughts in your comments in the comment box below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. If you want to call in and give your take on anything we talked about today, or if something that's just on your mind, call in 773-242-9219. It's another episode of Shy Boys Podcast. I'm Bobby. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.